Welcome back to the ninth episode of Not Fully Qualified. I'm Sarah, and this podcast is all about getting real with navigating adulthood, career changes, building a life together, getting married, and everything in between, and fully owning that we're just figuring it out as we go. If you're watching this on video, you may have noticed that Taylor isn't here. He's at work since we're recording this episode at a little bit of a different time because we have a very special guest, Jess Alexander, our incredible wedding planner from Sweet Blossom Weddings. Hi, Jess.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being our first guest on our episodes.
You're welcome.
I
I'm
appreciate
happy to be here.
it. She recently had her second baby boy, which, I mean, first off, how do you even juggle wedding planning with two little boys?
Well, it's I'm like I don't, but I do. I have help, thankfully. I am a San Diego native, so luckily my family is all around and I have a lot of help. That way my husband is amazing. My line of work is weekends, so I'm a weekend warrior. He has the kids on the weekend, but for my meetings, all my other, admin, I have help and I'm just really lucky. My newest is pretty mellow, so
Ooh,
but I know that's going
that's
to be
great.
short-lived. Soon he'll be moving, so I'm going to have to figure something new out.
Well, congratulations. That's so
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks for still supporting us with our wedding, even though
Of
you got a
course.
lot going
Yeah.
on.
I feel like truly my job, I love my job so much and it's my outlet like outside of being a mother. And I'm lucky that I found it because not everybody does. They just like search, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And like I am lucky enough. Yeah, it's tough, but I feel I'm happy. I'm really happy that I have such amazing couples like you and Taylor and all my other couples that make my job good and I want to come to work.
I love that. Yeah, you found your calling.
Yes.
I love that. So a little bit for our listeners, just about our backstory about how I found you
Yeah.
was so our venue, La Berge Del Mar, which is so funny because I think Taylor just started being able to say the
I
name.
know. I know.
It was a
I've
very
heard a
tricky
lot of
name.
different pronunciations.
I was like, that's how I heard them pronounce it at the hotel, so I'm running with that.
Yeah,
But it's funny
that's
because
correct.
it almost took him a year. Like by the time we're already, going to be out of there, he's like, that's how you say it. So they require at least a 90-day planner, which I'm so grateful for because that would have been a little bit of an uphill battle to fight
Yeah.
for that because I do have 10 years of experience planning corporate events and five of those being actually in hotels planning corporate events. But weddings are a completely different beast. Like I
Yeah.
even knew that just being in the same office, I was the only person who really did corporate events with room blocks. And the three other people I worked with, they all did the social events. So weddings or one night events that don't require too many room blocks, or I would handle the room blocks for them. And I just remember, I mean, yeah, weekend warriors, because those social events, they always happen when other people aren't working. So it's going to
Yeah.
be nights, it's going to be weekends, it's going to be holidays. And they're just, yeah, they're just so different from corporate events because corporate events, I will say, as boring as they they tended to be, they're a little bit more structured. Like people know they have to pay their bills by the certain deadline. They're
Yeah.
not as emotionally tied to
Yeah.
how much they're spending. They're not as emotionally tied to just the day and needing it to be perfect. I mean, obviously there's like the pressure from their bosses, but completely different for we did a lot of mitzvahs,
Oh
bar
yeah.
mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and then weddings as well. And just I just remember one of the times my director told us that he had one of his brides call him at midnight, and he's like,
Ooh,
her wedding's not even for 2 years. I was like, okay, though that is a completely different
that's
beast.
that's a really far ahead planning.
Yes, yes. So I'm like, props to you because
Yeah.
yeah. I'll go into this a little bit later, but I originally did want to be a wedding planner. And then after kind of getting that exposure, I was like, I don't know anymore.
That's really funny because as like I never knew I wanted to be a wedding planner, but after planning my own, it like made me really like this is what I want to do. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
know it
clicked for
at
you.
first, but like after my wedding was over, I was depressed. Like I didn't even know. I was just like, okay, I have nobody to follow up with, nobody to talk to, no floor plans. Like I was just so, what do I do? So it was my introduction into the industry, and it's been wonderful since.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll see how I feel after our wedding if I'm missing that craving for
You might want to
planning
break, a
something.
mental
Yeah.
break, and then go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Yeah. I do enjoy events, but yeah, we'll see after after my own wedding how I feel. So thankfully, LeBare's requires a 90-day planner. So I was really grateful for that so that I didn't have to win that battle with Taylor.
Yeah.
Because he was like, you can plan it yourself. And I'm like, I've never planned a wedding. I haven't had any close friends get married. Like I know the basics, but again, still it's a
Yeah.
completely different world. So I was researching, that was my first vendor that I was looking for because I was a little confused about the different packages that are offered from all
Sure.
the wedding planners. And two, I was like, well, if I am gonna potentially get even a sooner like a package that activates a little bit sooner and they help you a little bit sooner, like obviously I need to start doing that now, otherwise you won't get your money's worth. So
Yeah.
I was researching a bunch. I looked at LeBarege's vendor referral list, and then I was just researching on my own as well. I probably interviewed at least five. A lot of times the first call would be with the owner, which is great. And sometimes, sometimes I often love the owner, but if they're not the one who I'm gonna be working with, I was like, okay, well now I want follow-up calls with who I would be paired with. Because for me, that rapport, that connection with the planner is really important. Like you have to
Sure.
have that base level of trust, especially
Yeah.
as someone who like I worked in the event planning space. So I know a good deal, but I also want to have confidence that the person I'm handing it
For
off to
sure.
also knows a good deal, or
Sure.
hopefully even more than me. So, so yeah, so I had a bunch of calls, and then I based it off of that. Basically, it came down to obviously first and foremost like budget, but then for me, it was also the next most important thing was connection.
Yeah.
So, after I spoke with, and remind me again who the owner of Sweet Blossom Weddings is.
Melissa.
Melissa. Okay.
Melissa,
Yeah.
yeah, she's the head honcho. She started
Yes.
this 15 years ago.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, it's her baby.
Yeah. And also I love that the wedding world tends to be more female but owned, like female
Yes.
entrepreneur owned. So I love
Oh
that.
yes.
So then after I spoke with her, yeah, I got connected with you, and then I pretty much based off of that. And I think she actually even at first just had me talk to someone, and then since I was like, okay, I'm picking you guys because of Jess,
Yeah.
then she was like, okay, now actually we have to assign Jess to you because I was like,
Yay.
yeah, I mean, I would have been upset if all of a sudden it was like somebody who I hadn't spoken to after I signed
Yeah,
the
no, I
contract.
understand. Yeah, for sure. Because it is like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where did the planner go? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really important for us. So that given, and you gave us a little bit of a teaser, but give us your origin story. How did you get started in wedding planning? Like what led you down this path?
Yeah, so as I said a little earlier, I had planned my own wedding and I was a COVID bride. So it was a little bit of I got engaged in 2019 and I was started planning. Everything was great. And then the world shut down. So I had to like, it was good in a way because I like replanned it and it became a lot smaller, a lot more intimate than I had originally planned, which I I loved like for us like it was just such a drawn out process and so many like up and down emotions
Yeah,
that
I can only imagine.
yeah, it was tough, but after after it was all said and done, my one of my close girlfriends is a florist and she was like, "Jess, why don't you, get back into it?" Because I worked for almost 11 years at a law firm. So
Oh,
I was like
wow.
had a completely different career. I was
Yeah.
paralegal at a high product liability law firm, and it was I would travel. I was going all over the place. So for me, switching careers was like I didn't know if I could do it. I was really like scared. I was nervous. And so I just started like doing things little by little, taking a couple at a time, and eventually getting into like planning my own and designing my own. But it was just I was dipping my toe in initially because I just didn't know if I could make the switch, and I just fell in love with planning. Like it's and my couples, like Sweet Blossom couples specifically, I feel like we are so lucky to have the clientele that we do because I still follow my clients on Instagram. We still send each other messages. Like it's just like a really wonderful community. And I feel really lucky to be a part of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, how challenging. I knew my cousin was supposed to get married during COVID in Europe because her husband is,
Ooh.
yeah, her husband's Polish. And I was so excited to go, and it was going to be this whole lavish wedding in like a castle. And then, yeah, just complete changes. I've heard of so many people having to change their plans. So that's
Yeah.
amazing that you were able to pivot. I'm sure that was so difficult. It's funny even now how much the world has changed because in all the vendor contracts now they have a clause about
Yeah.
if
It's
the
wild.
world shuts down, hey.
I know. I was rewatching a show recently with like a COVID part in it, and like everyone was wearing masks and stuff. I'm like,
Oh,
that feels
yeah.
like so long ago, but it wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago. Such a weird time, but
Such a weird time.
I'm glad we've moved on.
So happy we're past that.
Yes.
I can't
No
imagine
more pandemics.
the extra stresses. I mean, I remember so I was working in hotels doing corporate events during COVID, like at the start of it. And I remember, we started hearing like rumors, and my best friend works in hotels and events too up in Washington State. And she started saying, "Hey, like they've kind of asked us to like take like one day off and either use vacation or this." And I'm like, "What?" And then literally almost like the next day, that's my hotel started doing that. And then we were like one step behind them. And then we all got furloughed, and the whole event world was just like up in the air
Shut
with a
down.
lot of, with a lot of other industries. And
Yeah.
I had already been wanting out of hotels because I was just really craving the creativity more
Hmm.
because corporate events are so, especially on the hotel side, it's just like, how many chairs do you want? How many tables do you want?
It's
And
like plug and play. It's like
yes,
the same script,
exactly.
different numbers.
Exactly. Which
Yeah.
some people love that
Yeah. Yeah, they know it. It's
stability and
routine.
yeah, yeah. But I was just like, oh, I'm craving being on the client side. So that was my first thought was like, I want to move to the client side and be the one bringing the events to the hotels. But then after COVID hit, I was like, okay, well, I already want out of hotels. So when I got furloughed, my goal was to not go back to hotels and find something else. And that's what led me to my next part of my career. But funny story. So when I was in college, trying to figure out my major, I I really wanted to become a wedding planner because after the movie J-Lo in the
J-Lo.
wedding planner, I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
of
oh my
course.
gosh, that looks amazing. And oh my gosh, you end up with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
You become a
yes.
wedding planner. So I
Yes.
was like, that looks so fun, and being part of people's like one of the best days of their lives sounds so amazing. So I decided to major in entrepreneurship. That's actually why I got my major,
Oh,
which
wow.
you know, spoiler alert, I don't think I learned anything, but that's what I majored in. And I
I'm sure
remember,
hey, listen, it's never too late to be an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you can pull back some of those notes, right?
I mean, it's at least when I went to school, it's so much theory and so many
Mhm.
case studies, and while that's interesting, I mean, it just does not compare to real life
Sure.
experience at all. So I'm like,
Mhm.
what did I learn? What did I learn in there? I had a fun time in college, but I'm not sure if I really took away that much that I'm like applying to my entrepreneurial journey right now.
You are starting a podcast.
Yeah.
That's
Which that would have been fun to learn in college. I wonder if they get to learn that now.
they
Um,
might.
I know they might. I feel like things are probably so different. So I wanted to be a wedding planner from that, and that's that's what led me down because I was like, okay. in Washington State, there it's at least when I was there, because it's before Amazon and Google came in. So
Yeah,
it was it's still like a fairly small-ish city, especially compared to LA. So a lot of the wedding planners were like solo, just women by themselves. Like nobody really, maybe they had an assistant, but otherwise just working by themselves. So I was like, okay, yeah, I need to learn like the business basics for that. I think I can learn the skills, obviously, in life, but
sure.
I want to at least know how to start a business, which again, I can't say that I do. But yeah, then as I still wanted to pursue that when I came down to LA, but it was super hard to find a job at first. So at first I ended up in advertising, which was really fun, and then eventually why I left advertising was because my best friend worked at a hotel and they had an opening for an event planner assistant. And I was like, okay, this is my chance,
Yeah,
basically. But yeah, I mean, I loved aspects of it. Like I'm such a type A person, so I loved the lists and I loved making diagrams and I
same,
enjoyed the beat.
same.
Well, at some hotels, one of my hotels was super old school and I hated their system. So making the banquet event orders was not fun. But
Was
everywhere else it
hard.
was
Yeah,
super fun. So I loved like seeing it come to life. Like that's always exciting to be like, okay, yeah, this is what I've been planning for a couple months, and then now here it is. Or occasionally there'd be these huge clients that would come in and you had a week to do it, and I'd stay, pull these like all-nighters planning their event. So it was
yeah,
like rewarding to have it come to life, because in advertising you kind of see it, but I wasn't making the ads. It was more just we were placing ads, so it's not quite as, I don't know, for me it wasn't quite as exciting
yeah,
to see the work come to life, because you're just like, yeah, I bought that ad on that website.
yeah.
Okay. But to see some of the corporate events, that was fun. And when I worked at the Beverly Hilton, they do the Golden Globes. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
so exciting.
yeah, so I didn't plan that, but I had to like help work it. And so it was, some of those events were really fun, especially working in Once Hollywood. There's a lot of entertainment events. So
Yes.
yeah, and I have done like fashion events and stuff like that too. So that was all fun, but yeah, I mean,
Were
again,
you starstruck by anybody?
I mean, it's funny because living in LA for so long, yeah, you see them on the red carpet, you're like, whoa, I can't believe they're right there. But then at the same
Superstars.
time, you're kind of like, this kind of feels like I'm just watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Because you're sort of in the background. Either one time I got to be in the stands because we got like free tickets to be those people who are in the stands on the red carpet. And then other times I was just, working in the background of the events. But it's cool, but I wouldn't say the only time I actually really got starstruck was when I was at the Hyatt Century City, which ended up closing. Uh, there was some celebrity event, and I remember we got to meet Bryan Cranston, and this is like either Breaking Bad
Oh.
had just finished or it was about to be on its last season.
Oh, so it was like
And
the height.
yes, and so
Yeah.
and he was like so nice. He let us take a picture with him.
Oh, I
So
love it.
yeah, that was like one of the times I was like, oh my gosh, this is, everybody else
Yeah.
was like, sometimes it was cool. Or one time I ended up in the elevator with I'm trying to think of what her name was. She I can't think of what her name is, but I'll have to look this up after. She played the Queen Elf in Lord of the Rings. She's a great actress though. I can't think of what her name
Like
is.
wrong,
But I ended
wrong
up
movie, I don't know.
in an elevator with her and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like that's her." But otherwise, yeah, it was kind of sometimes it was like whatever.
Yeah, they're just people too. But
Yeah.
there are some that I'm sure I'd be like,
Yeah, sometimes it was funny because like Lil Wayne used to come to our hotel, one of my hotels.
really?
I think he got kicked
Touchy.
out. I think he got kicked out of some of the other hotels because he always
Oh
he
no.
always smokes weed. Like that's I mean, they're just like upfront with it. So they're like, we're gonna pay the smoking fee. If there's any other
Yeah.
fees we have to pay, it's fine. Like we'll pay it. But obviously it's kind of hard to get that smell out, even, just as much as cigarettes. So some hotels are just still not, they don't want it. They just don't want that, right?
I mean,
So
yeah.
it was
Who
it
wants
was
to clean that? No,
yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to clean that.
Yeah, because you'd almost have to clean like the whole floor to get the smell out.
Yikes.
And nowadays, like you can't really open up hotel windows, right? Because it's such a hazard for people to
Yeah.
like fall out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just harder to air it out. Basically, you have to get these industrial fans and stuff. But it was, I just remember it's so funny. He had a writer of what he wanted in the room, and it was just candy. It was
How funny.
like all
That's
candy. You know,
hysterical.
like had to specially order, his writer of candy.
That is too funny. Oh my gosh, that's like me when I was pregnant. That's all I
I was
wanted.
like, this is hilarious. You know, other people would have special like specific waters that they wanted and
Yeah,
they wanted roses in their room and this and that. But yeah, I just wanted candy.
candy. Fair enough. A
I was
simple
like, that's
man.
yeah, simple man. Exactly. So, for our listeners, what do wedding planners really do day to day?
Okay, so we are first and foremost, like we are interviewing new couples. We have a lot of couples we're dealing with now, not dealing with, but we have their weddings, we're planning with them now, and then we also have future brides. So brides and grooms or couples.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be one or the other. Um, Day to day, it's a lot of admin work. We're reading contracts, we are checking in with vendors, timing, scheduling, really trying to make sure that your wedding day is flawless. That way you're not having to worry about what time is are my tables arriving? My napkin date is the wrong date, the count is wrong. Everything changes, right? We
Mhm.
initially book, we have, 150 guests maybe coming to the wedding, and then we are down to 120. So
Yeah.
our job as planners, we have to double, triple check all of those numbers and things so our client isn't overpaying
Mhm.
and we're getting the right delivery date, the right, it's a lot of scheduling and a lot of follow-up budget planning, and there depending on your package, right? Like some packages require more work, some not
Mhm.
as much, but it is a lot of behind the scenes admin work and like mental load for your wedding day that you don't have to take on because you've hired us to do it.
Yeah.
We're professionals. Like we know who to call, we know what to look for. Um planning, planning a plated meal, you wouldn't know to tell all of the guests, please choose your option, because
Mhm.
otherwise we're taking, you know, orders at the table and
Right.
that's going to just completely throw off dinner service. So there are things like that that if you have not planned a wedding, we know what to do. We just know what direction to point you in.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I love the support because I always lean on you for questions of like, is this important? Or what do you think about this? Or I'm
Yeah.
thinking this, is that going to work? And I love getting that feedback from someone who's seen tons of weddings because
Yeah.
sometimes I have ideas in my head and then I'm like, this sounds great. And then you're like, actually, this would be a little better. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that. You're right.
Yeah.
I think from what I saw mostly when I was looking for a wedding planner, it seems like there's roughly a couple categories of packages. So
Yeah.
there's like the full service where you guys are from the start, you're helping find the venue, you're helping negotiate contracts, super, basically as involved as people could want
Yeah.
from the start. And then there's kind of like a partial in between where you help with some things. Maybe you can speak to more of what those are. And then it's kind of an in between. And then the one that we have is like the 90 days. So at the 90-day mark, I've already contracted with all the vendors. I've received like a referral list and sometimes your references for vendors and stuff like that. But I'm the one who's like handling
The
negotiating,
outreach.
signing the contract. I can ask you questions about it, but I'm the point person for everything leading up
Yours
to
is a
those
little more.
90
You
days.
also have design.
Yes, we all have. Oh yeah, we have design because yeah, that was one thing that I did really. I had a lot of ideas for, but I really didn't feel confident in because again, I did corporate events and on the hotel side, so it was no design for me.
Yeah.
The most design I did was, do you want a U shape for your chairs or do you want a long table? So I was like, I need that. I want help because I have these ideas, but I don't know how to
Yeah.
bring them to life while also being super mindful of the
The
budget
budget.
and things like that. So, and that can be the trickiest thing is you can have all these ideas, but then it's like
Yes.
when it comes down to it, I mean, things are definitely usually more expensive than you think they're going to be when it comes to weddings.
I
And
think
even
that's,
me,
yeah.
like working in events, and I'm like, I know weddings are more expensive, but it just, even when it comes to your own wedding, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. No, and Pinterest and Instagram definitely don't help like the bride's planning right now because there is so much beautiful inspiration out there, but it costs money. So it's
Yep.
like we can do a version of this, but
Right.
it's not going to be quite as, people on stilts walking around doing
Yeah,
all that,
exactly. Sipping the champagne.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to have to be toned down a
Swans
tad.
and flamingos. Yeah, exactly. And what would you say, how would you describe kind of the partial package?
So partial package is it's communication from the start. So once you book, we are communicating from the start. And you don't have to wait obviously the 90 days out. Although you and I talked a little bit more in between since we had design. It is a curated list of vendors. We walk through design and we talk about budget. It's budget tracking. Not so much negotiation because we all of the vendors set their prices and
Mhm,
just like with us, we have set pricing for a reason. So like negotiation isn't something that we really do. We can find a way to lower by taking away a
mhm,
couple, items or just a different package, but we review contracts just like we do with 90 days, but it's more of a curated vendor list and just immediate contact like from the start, plus the design. And yeah, just a little more access to your wedding planner and a little more personalized like vendor list for you.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, I found the design to be super helpful too because there were things, especially with the florist. I've never dealt with florist for
Yeah.
anything basically, other than yeah, maybe some of my events had it, not too many being corporate events. And you having like the list of typical things that need to be or not need to be included, but are usually included, was really helpful because there was a couple things that I would have completely forgotten about. Again, same with rentals and also just having the perspective because I at least have the basis knowledge of events and I feel like Taylor, the whole event world plus the wedding world was a lot of sticker shock for him.
Yeah.
And and we've definitely had like our ups and downs with that. And it was nice to also have, we tried. I was like, it's worth asking. They're probably going to say no, but if you want me to ask, I'll ask. But yeah, there was times where he was trying to negotiate different things in people's contracts, but I was like, I'm pretty sure a lot of these are just kind of set. Like they, it's not exactly, the corporate world where
Sure.
side has lawyers and yeah, you can negotiate what the what the contract says.
Yeah.
I was like, this is probably their stock contract. They've already had a lawyer review it. They're not necessarily going to change anything for us specifically. So it's like you can ask, but yeah, I mean, I asked still, but I'd say 99.9% of the time it was this is it.
And
Take
that's
it or leave it.
And that's like the misconception about like our industry is like it takes a village. Like we have set pricing for a reason because we're professionals. We've done this for so many years. We've done so many events. We know what works and it like when you imagine like a theater, right? Like a show, it takes all of these people to put up the production, the lights, the music, the everything, and the performers are what you see. So essentially, you guys are the stars of the show. And that's what everybody is looking at, but everybody behind the scenes to make sure that it is flawless, that your night
Right.
it ends with like a mic drop, curtains closed, everybody's clapping. That's our goal. And that's why we have the pricing that we do, or it's not really negotiated because we want you to have we know what it takes. We know what it takes and
Yeah,
it
for
takes
sure.
a village to
For
put it.
sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, even on the hotel side, there's so much staff that
Yeah.
work the events from like the banquets team who puts out the food to the chefs in the kitchen who are making the food to the planner to the rooms person and the front. It's like a whole, it's
Yeah.
so many people
And
who
it's incredible to have that support at a hotel. Like I
Mhm.
love having that support as a planner at a hotel because there's so many helping hands. There are other venues that don't have that support,
Right.
which make it's not more difficult by any means, but it is just a little more, we have to play around with
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
do things.
Yeah, we briefly thought about having our wedding at Taylor's parents' house in their backyard. His cousin did that, and I was talking to one of my friends who she worked with me in hotels. She did weddings, and then on the side, she's been helping wedding planners. And she was like, "You absolutely need basically like a full service wedding planner to do a more DIY." Because she was like, remember power drops, which are like, power strips and making sure the DJ will have sufficient power and that
Yeah,
wherever you have heat lamp or if the heat lamps need power, and any of those things, lighting, that usually like if you're at a hotel or something, they have staff to do that, and that's
yeah,
part of the package that you pay for. Or you add those on as like an additional service, but they have people there. And then
yeah,
they also have kind of, people there on hand so that, if the power blows on and one power strip that they have a backup or know what to do. So I was
yeah.
like, oh gosh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. And then there was like another venue we thought about, but you'd have to bring everything in. You'd have to bring in the caterer, you'd have to make sure they have the right kitchen space and all. And I was just like, oh, that's just so many extra layers when there's already so much in wedding planning that I was like, I like the idea of a hotel because they already cover the food. I mean, hopefully you like the food, so that's something that I'm really
The
glad
food
that
is
LaBerge's
so good
food is
over
so
here.
good
It's
because
so good.
I've also worked at hotels, so the food isn't, very underwhelming. It's very hotel food.
Yeah,
So that's something that you have to think about. But I mean, I love having like knowing that there's support there and that there's a bunch of hands available to help and also
yeah,
being able to just stay there as well is really nice.
yeah. It's
So
so nice to have. You don't have to go anywhere. You just go to your room, go to sleep.
yeah,
You're totally fine. Yeah, that's estate weddings or any kind of things like that are definitely there's another layer of challenge because it's not, you even have to think about restrooms, like where people are going to go to
ah,
the bathroom.
good
Like
point.
there's so many like do you want 150 people walking in and out of your house? Probably
Right.
not.
Yeah, we were like, oh yeah, then
So,
we'd have to get porta potties or something and just
yeah. They have
like,
really
oh
nice
my
ones
gosh.
too.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
nice ones. But I was like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, this sounds, this
It
sounds
is
like
It's cool because you could make a space literally anything you want it, like at an estate or parents' house somewhere like that. But
right,
there are pros and cons, with
right,
each.
right.
But I agree. So something like that would require somebody from the start because
Totally. Because I mean, you
90
even have
days
to get
out will be
chairs.
stressful. Just like, okay,
Yes.
well, who's bringing this? It's like, what?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, thinking about the chairs and like at his parents' house, we would have had to cover the pool to be able to have enough room to fit it. I was just like, okay, yeah, this is just, there's so many extra things that are getting layered onto this. Whereas at least at the hotel, it's like, if you want to use them, they have tables, they have chairs, they have,
Yeah.
silverware and and the linen. So it's nice to have like you're getting a package, but then you don't have to worry about, okay, when are
But
those
you make it your
arriving?
own
Stuff like
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, the other thing I just wanted to say about the package is I liked having the design portion too because I could connect with you kind of earlier on,
Yeah.
and ask you questions here and there. So again, just having a little bit more support because I was like, I don't know how I would what's normal? Because it's also like if you've never planned a wedding, you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I compare all these costs? How do I compare? Some occasionally someone's going to offer me something a little bit different than somebody else. Like what's standard? What can I ask for? What's appropriate to try to negotiate a little bit and what's
Sure.
not. So I really liked having that extra support personally. And I would say it's been kind of interesting. I was a day of coordinator for my cousin's wedding when I was like, I don't know, this was like 10 years ago already. And I remember day of coordinators were kind of like a bigger thing. And then I remember asking when I was researching this, because I was like, 90 days, I haven't heard of that before. And it seems like the whole industry kind of went in that direction because quite honestly, when I think about it, yeah, having someone come on just the day of after I've planned everything and I'm just like,
Absolutely
here's the
not.
timeline. Like
Yeah.
it sounds actually insane. Like
Yeah.
it sounds crazy
I
to jump
know.
into that. and
Yeah, now
expect
that I
someone to be able to
manage,
execute.
yeah, day of planner is just a, I don't know. I don't know who came up with that, but someone who likes to be stressed out because that doesn't sound fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah. So it sounds like the 90 days is kind of replaced that. So it's still, I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Well, it's like
obviously
wedding
day of support.
management, pretty
Yeah,
much. Like
yeah.
you're doing all of the outreach, research, all of the things for your vendors, which can also be a lot. Like I know that looking and emailing 100 different vendors to get pricing and compare, like
Oh,
that's a
totally.
lot. It's a lot of work. But that is something that some brides choose to take on because they have the mental capacity or they can. Like they're like, okay, I really want to find this, so I'm going to take it on myself, but
Hmm.
I need help with this part. So the way that we have packaging, definitely we're doing it for all different types of brides, like who needs a little bit more support in different areas or who just really wants to be the one saying, I want that one, and
Right.
that's it. And we
Yeah.
handle everything else.
Right. Right. Yes. So what would you say is a common misconception about wedding planners?
I mean, I think a lot of people think we just kind of show up and like point and like give directions, but there's a lot of like communication ahead of time. It's not like I know us as planners, our team specifically, I can't speak for all of them, but we are all really like boots on the ground. What needs to get done? We're not, there's some things, of course, like we can't do, like we cannot cook dinner. We can't, we cannot move this gigantic, heavy couch or table by ourselves. Like there are
Right.
things that I think people unrealistically think that we can
Mhm.
handle, but we're there to plan ahead of time to make sure that those things don't happen. And if they do, we problem solve. We just do
Mhm.
on the fly. We're not there, just straightening chairs and pointing
Yeah.
people, telling them what to do. We are literally just, sometimes I have to change because I'm just sweating so much from the time setup starts to sending you down the aisle because it's some weddings are like they need or we're just baking in the sun setting up, it just
Yeah.
kind of depends. Every wedding is different, but I think that your planner, like you said earlier, you really have to trust who you chose because at the end of the day, we care. Like we want you to have the best day. We don't want you to worry about a thing. That's why we are there. And for us, for Sweet Blossom anyway, I think it's not just another wedding to us. It's not just like, okay, another weekend, another Saturday. Like we truly love our couples and like we want you guys to enjoy the day that we spent so much time planning and just
Mhm.
like be present. Not like, where's my cake? Where's my,
Yeah.
that I don't want, that's what my goal anyway is just like that for my couples to enjoy their day and be present because it's hard when there's so much going on.
So hard. I mean, yeah, from what I've heard, the day flies by already quickly enough. So it's like the last thing you need is to be tied up with 100 people asking you, so where do these flowers go? Where does this go? Like
Yes.
you're trying to get ready, you're
Lord,
trying to, yeah, get in the feel of the
yes.
moment. So especially having worked a few weddings myself and having been an event planner, I would say like the best type of event planners are the ones who put out fires without the couple even knowing.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things that pop up because it's an event.
Yeah.
It's in real life. There's gonna
Yeah.
be things that aren't exactly perfect. Maybe the florist got there a tiny bit late, and so you need to step in and help set this, or maybe, the wrong colored napkin appeared, and so we're trying to troubleshoot what to do, or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like having that extra support instead of people coming to you as the bride or the groom is huge because yes, working
Huge.
events, I mean, there were so many fires I'd put out, in the hours, sometimes big, sometimes small, and the plan was to never have to tell the client unless it truly was a
Yeah.
decision they needed to make or something that affected something. But it's like the whole point of having that support is so that you have somebody else handling that so you can
Yeah.
really enjoy your day. So
Yeah, I'm like the mama bear of your wedding day. It's like I'm
Yeah.
protecting my children. They're having fun. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel. And but it's like there's fires you have to put out, some bigger than others. And personally, what I do is just use my judgment. If
Mhm.
it has to do with money, if it has to do with anything
Right.
like that, I will talk to my clients, but like I don't want to interrupt your day with, little details that I
Mhm.
know will get figured out eventually. Like,
Yeah.
for example, if a napkins came in different color, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna set the napkins that came unless we can get these other ones here
Right.
now. And I'll tell them later and they'll refund the money. That's it. Like
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, hey, sorry,
Yeah.
these napkins are the wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just there are things that do need attention and there's things
Yeah.
that aren't. And truly you have to know your clients, you have to know what and when to ask them.
Yeah.
It's
What they
really
would care
about
about. Yeah.
reading the room too. Like
Right.
you have to
Right.
read what's going on and like, is this important in the scheme of things right now? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Totally. So for couples who are struggling to pick a planner, what do you recommend as like a top couple things for them to look for?
Yeah, so I think that your budget is definitely important. So don't go overspending in an area where you feel like, you have to have it because you have no idea. Like I think a lot of people feel pressure to book right away, like start getting their vendors. And to a certain degree, yes, like you should start looking at that and sourcing that out. But like you mentioned earlier, like a connection and trust is the biggest, in my opinion, because you're either talking to a planner maybe a year out, maybe 6 months, who
Right.
knows, but you're going to be communicating with them like they are your wedding day best friend. So if
Hmm.
you don't get along or
Yeah.
you feel like
Yeah.
weird when you talk to them, um, it's probably going to leave kind of a sour taste in your mouth. So like
Hmm.
if essentially, we're wedding day BFFs, like that's how I feel with you, with my brides. Like I love to talk with you guys about your wedding. And if you don't have that connection or if it's just kind of off, then it makes the planning process a little tougher, I think. Because it's like you don't want to go to a planner where they don't respond to you or, it just feels a little off. So I think trust your gut when it comes to that because um yeah, it's just important. It's important to feel like you can trust who you're handing your like special day off
Yeah.
to.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. It's like it's your little wedding baby. So
It
you want to
is.
be able
Yeah.
to.
It's a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you don't want to just choose a planner because this one is the cheapest, or, this one promised to do this for me.
Yeah.
And, it's
Totally.
there's, I just think trusting your gut and doing what you can for your budget is the most important.
Hmm. I agree. And say, I mean that goes for, I'd say first and foremost, the wedding planner. At least for me, that was the biggest thing because I want that person to be able to execute my vision, trust that they'll handle things, trust that they have good judgment, that they
Yeah.
know me. And then I would say, kind of in that same line, just with other vendors as well. I mean, a great starting point for me was, again, the referral list that both you and the venue had, because then I know someone is vouching for them and that those vendors are more than likely going to show up,
Oh,
period, and show
100%.
up on time, which are huge because I was like, well, I mean, not that I would know any vendors in LA, but I definitely don't know them in San Diego. And so it was kind of shooting blind. And I was like, yeah, there's these cheaper vendors, but they're not on referral lists. How do I know that their references are totally legit? So
Just like quality of work too.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would do my own research because I was just, trying to be mindful of the budget, see what's out there. And then basically it would come down to budget and it would also come down to if they were on a referral list. Because that was kind of, I was like, how else am I supposed to figure out if they're legit? Because I have
That's
heard
a
horror
really
stories
good
of people.
That's
not
a
showing
good,
up.
really? I see. I have
Yes.
never had
Like
that
if it
before.
would one of my friends they went through like a friend of a friend who was a DJ and again just kind of trying to do a cheaper option and I think he showed up like an hour late or something like that and I'm just like I
Oh my
that's
gosh.
something I would lose it too. So I was like it's okay that, this vendor was a little bit more expensive than these cheaper ones because they're on a referral list. And so like I know, like I already trust LeBear's, I trust you. So if they're on your referral list, like I know that they're kind of vouched for that they're legit, they're gonna show up, they're gonna do their job, and they also have a good quality of work. Whereas these ones, yeah, I kind of want to save a little bit of money, but does that come at the risk of potentially them showing up late or not showing up correctly or showing up
Yeah,
with something that looks completely different than I thought
I
it was
know.
going to.
I know it's tough. I thankfully that has never happened to me. I
Good.
hope it never does because I try. But yeah, it's hard. And there's a lot of small business owners like wedding, either florists or just like even photo booth companies.
Hmm.
They're doing, the best that they can and
Yeah.
they are out there. And it's hard. It is hard when you're trying to find so many vendors for your wedding day because
Hmm.
there's a million and then you
Yes.
click
Even
on
with the
and
photo booths, you're like,
yeah,
how am I supposed to choose? I don't know. They kind of offer all the same thing basically.
yeah,
So you're like, so again, it was kind of just going off of like, okay, price, and then also like, have they worked with my planner? Have they worked with the venue? Because otherwise, yeah, I mean, how are you supposed to pick? You're just kind of
yeah,
blindly
that's a good
picking.
way to cross-reference for sure.
Do you have any favorite funny or surprising wedding stories you can share, even from your own wedding, that either,
My
made
poor
you
wedding.
that made you like really feel like, okay, yeah, this was my calling to be a wedding planner, or just like, wow, this was a fun experience, or this was a wild time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few, there's a few that I can think of that I don't even, I shouldn't even talk about. But I love, since every wedding is different, like every dynamic, every friend group, like there's such a different energy at each wedding, which I really love. One of the weddings I did last year, they had a band and they had like a family song. And on the dance floor, they all circled around and like swayed and sang to the bride and groom in it. It was the
That's cute.
coolest thing. Because like at that time, I'm like, breaking stuff down and like trying to like organize and put things away. But like I was in the ballroom because they were having so much fun. Like it was one of the like coolest experiences. And I mean, that and I don't know, there's been a lot of funny speeches, but
I'm sure.
I think there's definitely a line where it's like, you know, a little embarrassing, but a little embarrassing, but also just like too many things, too many stories. So I don't know. My wedding, I don't even it's hard to say because like I was the planner at my wedding. Like I had a day of planner, but like I was so preoccupied with where things were because of just my type A personality and never doing it myself. So I felt like I unfortunately missed a lot of like moments and stuff because I was trying to, do everything and I
Yeah.
couldn't. So and I was a COVID bride, so that that wasn't the best. But yeah, I'm sure there's more. There's more that I can't like think of off the top of my head, but
It's okay.
anything with like live music is really fun. Even
Yeah.
or even just like the dance party at night, like that kind of energy is really fun. Seeing people do the worm, people take their shirts off because they're just having such a blast. Like I love the energy
That's
of
great.
that. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the night, all the formalities are over,
Yes,
party.
yes.
That kind of stuff is fun. You'll
Yeah, the real
see
personalities come out.
it's good people watching for sure as the sober planner.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I can only imagine. That's so great. That's so great. Yeah. I feel like I would be really curious if anybody takes their shirt off at our wedding.
I mean,
That
it
would
doesn't
be
always happen, but
hysterical. Hysterical.
sometimes it does. Sometimes, the
Yeah.
music just takes you.
Yes, the music just takes you, you're just feeling it. Yeah, that's so great. What are the top challenges most couples face when wedding planning?
Um, so I think initially and even like throughout the process, I think it's important to just keep in mind that you cannot you can't please everybody. So like when it comes
Mm,
to guest list or traditions or accommodations, I think that a lot of couples stress out trying to you know, be it for everybody. And it becomes unfair and just like not really what it's about. So just remembering that this is your wedding day. It's not for everybody else, although you want them there to celebrate. Being pulled like this because, uncle, uncle whoever is not invited or so and so can't make it. Can this person come? Like there's a lot of that and like a lot of things that brides and families have to deal with. And it's at the end of the day not worth the fight. It's not worth the headache. And I think getting lost in that can be challenging for sure.
totally. Yeah, I would say obviously the budget is super difficult, especially not knowing what kind of average prices are for things and the specific place, all of that. So I'd say that first and foremost was like our biggest struggle. And
Sure.
it's still been some, we've had a few arguments over it. We've had to rework things, stuff like that. But I would say
Oh,
the next
Sarah.
is, the next is,
Fight.
we made it through it. We're still getting married. It's
Okay.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the reality sometimes is just, it it is you want the perfect wedding and just yeah, I think Instagram sometimes makes it hard because you see these celebrity weddings and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I want
Yeah.
that." And then you're like, "Wait, how much does that cost?" Like
Yeah.
how much
There
does it
is a
cost?
lot of
Okay, no.
Photoshop in
We'll
in
have
things.
to,
Yeah.
there was so many more things that I wanted that I was like, when it came down to it, I was like, "Okay, is that the most important thing? Is that my priority? No. I can let it go. I can let this go. We can modify this, kind of work that way." Like really prioritizing what matters most to you. But I
Yeah.
would say I also agree balancing other people's opinions is really challenging. I think through this experience, I've really had to learn how to lovingly say no
Yeah.
and really and know when to stand my ground about things. I've had my mom pressure me to invite family members I haven't seen in 15 years. And sometimes I said yes, and sometimes I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, like that they're not really that involved in my life. I don't need them there. This isn't
Yeah.
your wedding.
Yeah.
And then there was times other people asked us if they could invite people. And yeah, I mean just certain circumstances where you feel awkward and the people pleasing sometimes comes in, you feel like you should say yes, but then you're like, wait, I don't necessarily know that person. And it is pretty expensive to have people come to your wedding.
It
So
is.
you have to
Mhm.
really learn, and same with I would say being cautious about asking for too many people's opinions about things because everyone will have an opinion and
Yep.
you have to figure out like you have to still listen to yourself, and sometimes if you get too many opinions you don't know which direction to go, you lose sight of your own opinion. So
Yep.
kind of being selective about whose opinion you ask for and loosely holding those ones that you didn't ask for.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you get unsolicited advice.
Oh,
And
a
you're
lot.
like, okay,
Yeah, a
thank
lot,
you for the
a lot.
suggestion.
I always say, I'll take that into consideration.
Now I know what you mean if you say that to me.
Yes, I mean, I've said it to Taylor like 3 times. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my way of like, yeah, I mean, I'll think about it. I'll think of how that feels and if that feels right to me. And sure, I'll do it, if it's not a problem for me or if yeah, I think it's a great idea. But again, you really have to I think balance because there are so many opinions. And that's also partly why I think I was super hands-on and kind of held a lot of the planning close to my chest too, because I was like, I want to do what feels very us.
Yeah,
And if I want opinions, I mean, usually I would just go to Jess because Jess is,
that's what I'm here for.
third party. She's the expert. She also, doesn't have emotional ties to certain things. So I was
Yeah.
like, if I'm going to ask someone, I'm probably just going to ask Jess. I'm not going to ask like, anyone who's involved with the wedding because again, it can kind of muddle what maybe my
Yeah.
vision is. Okay, so let's talk about advice now. What are your top 3 to 5 tips you have for couples either preparing for their big day or actually on the big day?
So preparing for the big day, I mean, you are so organized. You are like a dream bride. So I
Type
know I'm not gonna have
A. Type A's
anything.
unite.
I know I'm not gonna have any issue there. I think that being organized is really important and just being like if you're writing vows, if you're doing speeches, if you're doing any kind of toast, even for the couple, I think it's really important to do that ahead of time. I think morning of, it's already like so stressful. Those little things, it's like take the time, set the time to do it, write your vows, be fully prepared so you can not only be like present for your wedding day, but just take it in. Like you said, it goes by really fast. You guys luckily have a little bit of like a weekend, a wedding
Mhm.
weekend. So I think you'll have more FaceTime with your guests Friday, and then Saturday on the wedding, you'll be able to like really enjoy that. So any kind of welcome party, I know it's not for everybody, doesn't have the budget for it, or necessarily can because it's a destination. Having a small something, even if it's cocktails or meeting at a brewery, something that you can have more FaceTime with your guests helps
Yeah.
um, for you to enjoy your day. So you're not feeling like you have to stop at every table to have a conversation because there goes your night, you know?
Mhm.
It is, it's tough. It's tough to, I mean, your wedding day will fly by and in a sense, but it is like being present makes, I think a lot of couples struggle with that because they're trying to, please everybody. And it's too hard. You can't do it. Um, and just know that, like you said earlier, things are gonna change. Like things, we have a plan. You have to be okay with things changing because we can't control certain aspects, right? Like the weather, we can't control it. Like if clouds are coming in, we got to figure out a plan B, but we will is the
Mhm.
thing. Like it's not if we're 10 minutes behind, that's okay. We will catch up. Like be
Mhm.
okay to be on the fly because things are going to change. We have a plan, we have everybody in place, but it might not fall exactly the area that we have on paper, but it'll be okay.
I love those, and Taylor definitely needs to hear the advice about the vows. He he has been procrastinating. I've been reminding him probably like once a month for the last, however, 5 months or something. And
Yeah.
then now I've kind of picked it up to like 3 times a week where I'm like, I already wrote mine. You might want to consider writing yours because the closer we get, the more just it's going to get busy and it's just going to be stressful and you don't have to, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's purposely planning on doing it the morning of, but he also is
No.
procrastinating on that track. So
I think, yeah, that I've seen grooms, even brides in the morning, right in the morning. And I'm just like, girlfriend, you're
no.
getting your hair done and makeup, everyone's having
Yeah.
mimosas, and now you have
Yeah.
to sit here and think about how much you love
Yes.
your, it's just, it's rushed. Not that it's not genuine. I'm sure
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
every word of it is real. And some people work better under pressure, which
Right.
I get, but it really to in order to enjoy your morning
Yeah.
anyway, just write your vows
Yeah. You
or
don't
your
want to have
speech.
homework. You don't want to have
Yeah,
homework. Like
in the
you want to just,
morning.
yeah, you want to be
Yeah.
in celebratory mode. I mean, yeah, I mean, I had been taking notes on my little notes app just for a couple months of like, okay, I kind of have this idea I want to hit on this point. And then finally when I sat down, I mean, I think it only took me like 20 minutes. And then just like once a week, I just kind of look at it again, make like a couple tweaks, like say it out loud,
Yeah.
and revisit it. And I'm just like, okay, great. Like I feel so relieved that it's
And you're prepared.
done.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I mean it's just so funny because yeah, Taylor's like, yeah, I still need to do that. Yeah, I still need to do that. I'm like, okay, well now you're starting to run out of time to do it, so I'm just giving you a heads up.
You gotta get on it, Taylor.
Yeah, and then I love what you said about, yeah, if you can, just finding a way to have some type of welcome event. I mean, for us, yeah, we really didn't really have that much budget left for a welcome event as much as I would have loved to have something more bigger and more organized. So right now, we just said we're just going to go to the dog beach nearby the hotel with because we have Waffles, our dog. And so we're like, because I was like, I want to kill two birds with one stone. I need her to be tired because my aunt's gonna watch her during the rehearsal and rehearsal dinner. So I need her to not be hype.
Yeah.
And then I also, just want a little bit more FaceTime to see whoever is willing to come and whoever is getting there earlier. So that's our plan. It's kind of funny though, because I was thinking like, oh, maybe like 30 people, mostly friends, probably will say that they'll stop by. And I don't think this many people will actually show up. And I was like, Mom, can you spread the word to some of like our older family members that they really like, unless they, they can come for 5 minutes. They don't actually have to come if they don't want to. It's at a dog beach. It's nothing
Yeah.
glamorous.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna have a couple snacks from Costco. It's really not, you have to sit on a towel. Um,
Yeah.
we had 81 people say that they're gonna come, and I'm like, my mom's like, that's a lot, and I'm like, okay, again, I don't know if all those people will even show up, kind of hoping not. And it might be on a flow as well because we're doing it for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. They might just come
And
in
again, they
and
might just
hide
see and
maybe.
see that, yeah, see that it is straight up a dog park or, a
Yeah.
dog beach and then be like, okay, we just wanted to say hi, bye. So, yeah, I mean, but just even having that opportunity is like, because I have like one of my friends, she's coming from Amsterdam and she's not in my wedding party, but I would love to see her more than the 2 seconds I'll probably get to see her during the wedding.
Yeah. Of
So it's just
course.
nice to have something. So there are ways of doing it like for a lot less budget. Even at a park or something like that, where if you don't have the budget for doing something bigger, something more organized, or something at a venue, you can
Yeah.
sort of find a workaround. And then yeah, presents, that's something that I can totally see for couples because especially if you're a type A and you're really involved, you're like wanting to know everything's getting set and everything's organized, and you're wanting to make sure everything's going according to plan, or you're getting caught up because, you're seeing your best friends and you're seeing your family members and you're getting pulled in this and that. So, again, that's why I think having a wedding planner is huge because it
Yeah.
allows you to release that and like delegate basically so you can enjoy those moments because they're so fleeting with
Yeah.
your loved ones.
Yeah. And I think like with even with setup, like even if you're not worried about how your wedding is being set up, there are so many things like happening in the room with your makeup, with your hair,
Totally.
with getting dressed, like getting lost and just like that can be challenging too. So I don't know if you're a fan of The Office, but like
I
when Jim
am.
and Pam, yeah, when they got
Love The
married
Office.
and they do the little like take a picture, that's what I
Yes.
think of. Like just
Yeah. Like
try to
take
like
in the moment.
yes, take
Yeah.
like just step back. Like we have a time planned in our timeline, which I try to do for all of my couples, just like a breather. Because
Mhm.
with photos, family, and all the things happening, like you guys will really have like that moment to be alone
Yeah.
your entire
Exactly. Yeah. The rest.
wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
the
rest
rest
of
of
it's
it, you're surrounded
surrounded.
by people and looky-loos. Even
Yes.
like photographers, like even with your first look, you're not alone because
Right.
there's
Right.
other people around.
Right.
So, um, I think that's what I try to do for my couples. And if you don't have a planner and you just want to have like a 10 minutes with your spouse, like plan
Mhm.
it. Make a moment just where it's like before you walk into whatever room the reception is or whatever area, you two have 10 minutes alone to talk, to even just like look at each other, to eat and just
Yeah,
like,
to
right,
actually eat, because
we're
I've heard a lot
married.
of people don't eat at their own wedding because they just get
Yes,
so
they
caught
don't.
up.
Please eat.
Yes,
Everybody eat.
please eat. Yeah, I am excited for that because it'll be nice to just and to sit for a second and like take a
Take a
breath because
breath.
everything's
Yeah,
everything's just like such high energy because it's just this is a wild day. I'm seeing it all these people that I love all at once in one room. Everyone's looking at me, and then also as like someone who's more introverted, just having that moment to recharge for a little bit, I think is necessary because
100%.
I'm like I'm acting like an extrovert on this day because I'm seeing everyone I love, but I my battery is just going. Doot, doot,
Yeah.
doot. So just having even if you can have like the 10 minutes, I think it's going to be huge to reset and be like, okay, I'm ready to get back out there. Put me in,
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of the biggest lessons that I would say that we've learned so far in or heard from others that I haven't mentioned yet are at least for me, because I do like to be organized and I am a planner. Obviously, I was an actual planner in a past life. So I would say do as much as you can early on because it just all the little things just get super busy leading up to it, especially, if you are doing a destination wedding somewhere, you need to pack and you need to we have cats as well as a dog, so I need to get my cats set up, all these little things that are just going to make those days fly by. Plus I have, like I'm getting my nails done and I'm getting my lashes, I'm getting, beauty appointments kind of stacked up. So just you run out of time towards the end. So things like you said, like the vows, like things that you can do ahead of time, do as much as
Do,
you
yeah.
can. Like I already have a packing list started, and it's nice because I think you guys also provide kind of a template as well for that. But getting like a packing list started so that if you're, again, especially if you're a destination wedding, but even if you aren't, just anything you need to bring to the venue, like have
Yeah.
that organized because I kind of feel like my mind, when I get excited, kind of everything starts to fly out. So,
Well, and then
like, do
if
I
you
have it?
wait
Do
till
I have my
last
dress?
minute, yeah, if you wait till last minute, things slip through the cracks. You
Yes.
forgot your underwear for
Yeah.
wedding day.
Yeah.
You're gonna be running around going getting underwear morning of. But things like that happen because for most people, you're not getting married at your home, so you don't have
Right.
anything. So
Right.
you have to pack some things.
Hmm.
So anyway, it is good to just plan ahead what you can because
Yeah.
there are a lot of things leading up, even if it's
Yes.
just like, you know, enjoy the excitement when you can and not
Yeah.
about the little things because
Right.
you do them, a month before.
Totally. And it's even like, like I wanted to write my best friends like some cards to give them like while we're getting ready. And yeah, I mean, not leaving that for the night before where I'm staying up super late on the wedding night because shoot, I forgot to write
Yeah.
them and I want to give it to them in the morning. So like doing things like that ahead of time, same with like the card that I want to write for Taylor while he's getting ready. It's like just, I'm probably going to do that this week so that it's just done and ready to
Yeah.
go and put it in a place, add it to my packing list.
Yeah.
And then I would say take break. Like if you do things early on enough, take breaks because the research and reviewing quotes, if you are doing it yourself, like can get really overwhelming. I mean, I think I reached out to way too many florists. I think I reached out to like 20, and then I had like
Oh,
20 quotes to
Sarah.
go through, which was way too much. And they were all different. Like, I mean, the spectrum was crazy. So then I was like, how is it so different for the same thing that I told everyone that we need? And how am I supposed to figure out, like what the cost should be? Because now I'm concerned about these cheap ones, but then obviously I can't afford these super expensive ones. So
Yeah.
I try to make a spreadsheet, and then even just making the spreadsheet was a lot of work. And I was like, that was probably because the florist ended up being our most expensive vendor, and we are getting a couple rentals for that as well. But the florist ended up being the most expensive vendor that we have. And I would say that like we don't even have a ton of florals. So taking the
You
time,
have
like,
a good amount.
yeah, we have a good amount.
You
We have a
have a
good
good
amount.
guest count.
But
Yeah.
like it's like only Taylor has a boutonniere, and there's not as much as what I've seen in other weddings.
Sure.
And so I was like, I'm overwhelmed, and then feeling the pressure of like, okay, I don't want the good ones to get booked up though, so I need to push through this.
Yeah.
But thankfully again,
Taking breaks is
yes,
that's
like
good
I was doing it at
advice
the beginning
because
of the year, so it was like, okay, let me take like a few days off and come back to this because I'm just feeling stressed. I was still at my job, so like I just needed some breaks. So it's like if you do it early enough, like you have the luxury of being able to take breaks usually. So
and not cram it all in and make a decision because you're stressed or you're running
yes,
out of time.
yes, yes, which is the
Yeah,
worst place to make a big decision like that too, when it's like a big financial cost.
for
Um,
sure.
I would say keeping the big picture in mind. Like sometimes, especially me being a planner and I love being organized and I love lists and I love all the details, it's like sometimes it can get lost in the details. So
Yeah.
just keeping the big picture of like you're marrying the love of your life. Don't sweat the small things. Obviously, that's easier said than done as someone who's like checked my list 800 times. But at the end of the day, it's like if it rained, if the florist didn't show up for some reason, it's like in the grand scheme of things, as long as I still get to marry Taylor, does it really matter? So trying to
Yes,
keep
we
that
need those
perspective.
flowers.
But yes, I do hope that I do hope the florist shows
No,
up.
she will. She will.
But try to keep
But
that
yes,
perspective and like
at the end of the
especially, yeah,
day, yeah,
especially the day of, it's like it's so easy to get stressed out because you worked so hard, you had this vision. Again, I haven't gone through it yet, so it's hard to, it's easier to say this than how it might feel. But like really keeping that in perspective so that if a vendor is late or if something didn't come out exactly as you wanted, just, realizing you're still getting to marry the person that you wanted to. And
yeah,
at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about.
yeah,
And then
true.
a couple more things I would just say, I think you touched on this, but just being mentally prepared that not everything will be perfect because this is real life.
Yeah,
These are people like, mistakes happen, accidents happen, things that you can't foresee happen. It's just life. And being an event planner, I mean, there's never an event that goes exactly according to plan.
we
So
plan for it,
yes, you plan for it. You plan that
but
it's
it
not going to
doesn't
go,
always.
yes,
Yeah,
that it's not going to go according to plan. So just having that mindset, I think, as well, of not having that expectation that everything's going to go perfectly, that you're going to say your vows perfectly, that your best friend's going to do their toast perfectly and not be,
yeah,
like you hope
yeah,
they're not going to be drunk, but at the same time, like, or, you didn't want to cry during this part or whatever. It's like it's just this is a human experience. And so I think just expecting that things won't go to plan. And like you said, there's ways to catch up. Like if someone's speech ran 10 minutes too long and you're like, oh my gosh, now the
yeah,
timeline's all messed up. It's like, no, like we'll figure something out. So
yes,
keeping that perspective, not having that expectation, because you'll just get disappointed if you expect it to be perfect.
yeah. It
And
will be
then,
perfect for you. And,
yes,
and it's the timeline is a guideline, I say. That's what I like to say because
yes,
I do want things at the time. If they don't fall on that, I will follow up and make sure that they do happen. But like it
right,
is a guideline for
right.
wedding day and stressing stressing that we take a picture at 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
If your
yeah,
makeup's not done, I'm not going to, rush you out of the chair. So there are ways we catch up, we fall back, and it happens kind of all day.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then I think just enjoying the whole experience and like all the milestones, like if you have a wedding shower, if you have a bachelor, bachelorette, if you have just visiting the venue, doing the tasting, anything like that. I think just trying to enjoy the ride as much as possible because
Yes.
hopefully this is the only time that we're getting married. And so even those little things, and even again, even the conversations we've had to have, even if they were like difficult conversations, I think we've grown out of it and we've had better communication now and that like just again just sets you up for a happy marriage and like a better
Yeah.
life going through that, having to lovingly say no to my mom more than I have in the rest of my life has been, it's stretched me and it's stretched our relationship, but at the same time, I think it's made us grow in a positive way.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
okay, so wrapping up, what would you say for after the wedding? Is there anything couples like usually forget that you could give them a tip for?
Not, I mean, one thing that you have to do is file your license, whether it's a
Yes.
transient
Yes. Yes, you're
or,
not just married
yeah,
just by signing it. You have to
yes, that
submit.
makes it official. You have to send it in. So that's definitely follow up
Yeah.
for day after. There's not a whole lot. I mean, if you bring in rentals or anything like that, like definitely don't forget to take those.
Yep.
But once the wedding is over, it is like kind of a little blue because
Yeah.
it was such a
Such a
wonderful
buildup.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a build up. And
Hmm.
not that it's like a come down, but it's like you're married now. Like
Yeah.
just take that in.
Yeah.
Take that in. And it's almost like a relief too, because it's so much work to get to this point. So you're just like, we did it. We're
Yeah.
married. Like
Yeah. I know
it's
Taylor goes,
easy.
I can't wait till after our wedding. I'm like, rude.
Taylor, come on.
I was like, well, our wedding's gonna be super fun. And, after all of this, especially seeing it come to life, I mean, it's just, I feel like it's such a moment in your life. that you'll be able to look
Yes.
back on that it's like, yeah, okay, we've had some challenges and this didn't go perfectly, or, we had to cut this and I really wanted this, but the budget didn't allow. It's like, in 50 years, I'm not going to look back and think about those things. I'm going to be like, wow, that was such a memorable, special day.
Yes. And that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. One thing I learned that I need to look into was like if I want to keep my dress, getting it professionally like cleaned and
Steam.
packaged
Yeah.
because the dress lady at my bridal shop, she was like, "Oh yeah, we do that." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even realize that was a service. I kind of was just gonna like put it back in the bag
Yeah.
after getting it cleaned." And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, no, no. There's like they have a certain way to box it up and keep it so that moths and other bugs that tend to eat fabric and stuff like that like won't get in it. And like there's a special way of storing, all the
Oh, I
things."
love
So I
that.
was like, I didn't even think about. I literally was like gonna get it dry clean and then like shove it back in the bag and forget about it.
Yeah.
So I
I
was like,
know.
oh, she was like,
That
yeah,
is
you don't want
that is a
moths
good
or
point.
silverfish. I'm like, I didn't even know silverfish ate fabric.
Do they?
That's what she said. I was like, I just see them as little cute lollies.
Monsters.
I had no clue. But yeah, she was like, yeah, I mean, if you ever have, if you ever want to keep it as a keepsake or, pass it down to future generations.
Okay, now I need to figure out where my wedding dress is.
Yeah, I was like,
I
I
don't have
literally was just gonna
daughters,
zip it
but
up in the bag and stick it in the back of my closet.
oh, okay. Well, this is news to me, and this is good. This is good. I now will recommend this kind of thing to my brides too. So thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
don't know
didn't.
if all
I
bridal
mean,
shops offer that, but I was like, that's pretty smart that
they do.
that's
I
a
think a lot of
service.
them do,
Yeah.
but like from the planning side, like afterwards, I think paperwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where my mind goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not necessarily the dress, but that's really good advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
if you plan to conserve it, like for
yes.
sure.
Same with the bouquet. Like if which I would love to, but some of the services are like more than the bouquet actually costs. So I'm like,
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
not. But there's ways that you can preserve it. You can make it into artwork, which is really cool. Again, I don't know that I'll do that, but I might dry it and then figure out what to
Yeah.
do with it. I'm not tossing my bouquet. There's not like a ton of I mean, I do have friends who aren't married, but I was like, I don't know. My mom was like, give it to your brother's fiance. I'm like, she's not gonna want to carry my bouquet around after. Like,
I
she's
think
probably gonna feel obligated to
she's like,
keep it, but she's gonna be
okay.
like, what am I supposed to do with this for the rest of the wedding? Like,
I think having drying it is a good idea because then you have more time to like figure out what you want to
yeah,
do.
if you
It
want
is
to
a
keep
little
it,
more delicate. Yeah, but
yeah,
like there
yeah.
are a lot of cool dried flower like things I've
Yeah.
seen too.
Yeah, like I might not keep it all. I might just like maybe keep a couple and try to YouTube if I can like press it into something. But if not, I might just get dried and then I'm like, what am I really gonna do with this? And then toss
Yeah.
it out. But at least that buys me a little more time to be like, do I want to keep this?
Yeah.
So just to wrap it up, I just wanted to do a couple fun little rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
So, okay, first off, this is the most important question in my opinion. What's your favorite wedding dessert?
Oh, anything with ice cream. Anything. I love ice cream. But I will eat everything.
Same.
I do not discriminate with desserts. I actually don't love chocolate, but I'll eat it. I'm more of like a, you know, vanilla or like funfetti cake is another one that just like oof,
Oh, you're speaking Taylor's
takes me
language.
away. I
He's the
love it.
exact same.
I love, and I had Susie cakes a couple weeks ago at one of
Oh,
my weddings.
oh my
And
gosh,
they had the
so
confetti
good.
cake. It was
That's actually
amazing.
Taylor's favorite.
Oh, it's so good.
That's Taylor's favorite. That's his absolute, which is so funny because I always felt like that cake was like a little bit too sweet for me. Like it's very, very, it's out of all the cakes I've had, it's like really, really, really
Yeah,
sugar forward.
yeah,
But that's like his absolute favorite. And he's the same. He doesn't really like chocolate that much. He's a huge fan of like funfetti cake batter. We both love ice cream so much, and I really, really wanted to get an ice cream vendor for this, but it was like I felt like because it was either the same cost or it was even more than having a dessert bar, but I felt like dessert bar. it's just a little bit easier to eat at a wedding if you kind of have like mini desserts because then people can still dance while they're eating it versus kind of like a cup or a cone of ice cream
You
is
have to
like,
stop. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
like if you're smart, you need to go stop and not spill it all over yourself.
Or get a
But
brain freeze and eat it all at
yeah, so
once.
that was the only thing I was like, I love ice cream. I would absolutely love to have ice cream there. I feel like I haven't really seen that too much at weddings, but I was like, it's just a little bit easier to eat, and sometimes more variety to have different like dessert options.
Yeah, you guys have a really good
I'm so
layout.
excited.
I
I
cannot
can't.
wait for that, actually. I cannot wait to see that layout. It's going to be
I
so
was like,
good.
I feel like it's just gonna be like Taylor and I just eating everything, even though we have
You're
like
just
a
like,
couple
okay,
desserts.
bye,
Yeah,
go. You guys go dance. We'll be
yeah.
here.
Because they were so incredible. And this was another vendor that I think I got a referral from you guys. And for someone who I'm kind of known in my friend group and my family group as like the baker, I was
Yeah.
like, the desserts have to be on point for me to have it represented at my wedding. Otherwise, people will not trust my baking
They
anymore.
won't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll be really disappointed. And literally, I've had so many people be like, what kind of desserts are you having at your wedding? Because they better be good. And I'm like, you know me, they're gonna be
No,
good.
Aubrey's
So yeah,
amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited because there was a few things that we ordered that we didn't get to try. And so I'm like, and
You're
a few things
excited.
that we did order that we did try because they were incredible that I'm
Yeah.
like, I need that. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Um, okay, what's the most unique thing you've ever seen at a wedding?
Well, recently the bride asked all of us to wear white, including the vendors.
Oh,
All the guests showed up in white. Everybody wore white, and she had a pink dress.
oh wow,
And
okay.
she was stunning. Like
That's
she
awesome.
had it custom made, and just like the train was huge, it was grand. Her veil, her sleeves, everything. I was like in awe.
Barbie. That's
Yeah,
like
because
Barbie.
nobody saw it ahead of time. Only her mom like helped her get
Oh
dressed. Her bridesmaids didn't see
wow.
her. Nobody did.
And that's a
She walked.
showstopper for sure.
It was, I was like, whoa. Like
Did the
she
groom wear white too?
No,
Okay.
the groom and the bridal party were all in like different colors,
Okay,
but
got it.
just
Got
like
it.
the guests and the
That's so
vendors were all
interesting.
in white. So like you could tell who was like a part of
Yeah,
the thing. And yeah, I
that's
was just
epic.
like I felt like I was watching a movie when she
That's
was walking down
epic.
the aisle. I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
I
like
feel
this
like
is
this is
incredible."
literally Barbie in real life. That's amazing.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I was little, because I have never liked wearing white and I always felt like white washes me out. So I never really enjoyed it. And I was like, I'm gonna wear a black dress because I look way better in black. And I really liked wearing black, like especially in high school, I was like black t-shirt, black everything. So I was like, I'm gonna wear a black wedding dress someday. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's not
Maybe a
my style
little
anymore.
not the style.
It's still a huge statement whenever you see it. Like it's
For
very
sure.
unique, but
Yeah, a
yeah,
colored wedding dress it's bold, but it
it's
has to fit
bold.
your personality for sure.
Totally.
If you're not feeling it, then just wear your pretty white dress.
Yeah, totally. Okay, last one. What's your favorite moment at a wedding?
Okay, I have two. So I love sending the couple and the bridal party down the aisle because it's like
Yeah.
game time. Like we're ready to go. Deep breath, music's playing, everybody's like excited and jittery. So like that part and like when mom or dad, whoever's walking bride down the aisle is there, they're just like it's a moment that they share that's so special and it's just like, okay, this is it. Like you ready? Let's do
Yeah.
this. It's just such a couple seconds of just like, all right, I'm gonna be a married
Oh my God.
woman
Yeah.
soon or
Yeah.
man, whoever. Yeah, it's that's one of my favorite parts. And
I'm like
then
hoping that
also,
I don't ugly cry just that entire time.
oh, it's gonna be it's hard. And like with my dad, my other favorite part is the parent dances. And like not
Hmm.
everybody does them because if you are, lucky to have your parents
Yeah.
at your wedding, or just somebody that you love that you want to dance with,
Yeah.
like that is such a special moment. And I, because I'm so close with my dad, the father-daughter dance would always tug at my heartstrings. And then now that I have two boys, the
Yeah, you can't
mother-son,
wait.
I
Yeah.
can't even watch it. I lose my mind. I have to walk away because like the first time after I had
Yeah.
my son, I did a wedding and the mother's son, and I was just like, what is wrong with me? Why am I crying? It's just like so, it's so sweet and special. And like it just it means so much to your parents. My dad
Yeah.
talked about it for so long. He's just like, remember when we were dancing? I'm like, yes, dad. He's like, that was so fun. I'm like, I know. Yes, it was. But like, it was such
So
a
cute.
small thing for me, but meant so
Yeah.
much to him. So like,
Yeah.
those things are really special for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me
I took
too.
I took one dance lesson with my dad because he has no rhythm. My mom has all the rhythm. And so I was like, I just need you to be able to do like a basic, like side sway, just at
Yeah.
least to
Not step on your
a
toes.
little bit of a beat,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. So I'm like, that's all. And if you want to get crazy, you can like slowly spin me. But if not, I just need you to like be able to kind of
Just sway.
flow to the
Yeah.
music. Because even that's, a little bit of a challenge for him. But yeah, and then I've been like, Dad, are you practicing with mom? Are you practicing with mom? I just need you to have like a tiny bit of rhythm for just 2 minutes.
So
Just 2
cute. I
minutes.
love it.
Well, thank you so much, Jess, for
You're
all of your
welcome.
knowledge, for being our first guest.
Of
This was
course.
so fun to talk to you. And where can our listeners find you if they want to follow you? Are you on social media?
Yes. Yes. You can find us at sweetblossomweddings.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram, Sweet Blossom Weddings, or at Sweet Blossom Weddings. And I think we have Facebook too, but we're on Instagram. Like that's our bread and butter. We're also on TikTok now. So
Ooh,
yes, find us on TikTok if you're on there. And hopefully we can schedule some more like fun face of the team. Right
yeah,
now it's just our weddings and a lot of our content.
yeah,
We're getting more into like meet the team. And
yeah.
this is like
That's
it's out
awesome.
of my comfort zone too, because I'm like I don't know. I like to be behind. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yes,
the face of it. I'm behind the scenes.
yes, yes. No, I have been growing through that as well,
Yeah.
trying to be more visible, but that's exciting. TikTok
Yeah.
is a world I have yet to explore still.
It's
Typical millennial, I'm
it's a
like, I
it's a
can't
rabbit
handle
hole.
another
I
another
know.
social media platform quite yet.
I
But I
know.
know that's like, it's
That's where the
rivaling.
kids are.
That's where the
That's
young
where all the
kids
kids
are.
are.
That's where the young kids are. That's so great. Well, thank you so much, Jess. It was a
You are so
pleasure speaking with
welcome.
you. And that's it for our ninth episode of Not Fully Qualified. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, leave a review, share with a friend you might find this helpful, and come hang out with us on our YouTube channel at Not Fully Qualified or on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and on Instagram like Jess at Not Fully Qualified. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.